Welcome to our daily reflection for this Saturday, December 23rd. So close to Christmas. We are now on the cusp of it, and we have beautiful readings today from the church for our daily readings. And the first reading is from the prophet Malachi, chapter 3. And I love these readings. And these readings are some of the opening scenes and readings in the famous performance and program of Handel and his Messiah. And one of the things I love to do during the Advent season is listen to part one or act one of Handel's Messiah, because it's all about the coming, the advent of Christ and the birth of the Messiah. And it's such a glorious hymn. I recommend it if you're going to listen to any Christmas music this weekend. Listen to Handel's Messiah, Act 1 especially. And what's so important is that one of the first few texts that we get in the Old Testament that Handel gives us is this very important text of Malachi 3. So it's interesting that Handel did this as well as the church, giving us in preparation for the birth of Christ. And Handel takes this text of, the Lord whom you seek will suddenly come to his temple. God's going to appear, and he's going to come back to Israel. And the question is, who can endure the day of his coming? And who can stand when he appeareth, right? When he appears. Who can stand? And that's a line from Handel's Messiah that's sung in a beautiful aria by the alto, as she sings, who can abide the day of his coming? Who can appear? Who can stand? Is this great question that's posed at the beginning of Handel's Messiah. Who can stand when he appears? And then he is like a refiner's fire. And when you hear the alto's voice singing this line, when she sings fire over and over again, her voice flickers like a flame. And you can almost visualize a flame as you hear that voice. And then it goes on, in the next line, he will refine the sons of Levi and purify the sons of Levi. So he will be like a refiner's fire, purifying the sons of Levi. And then you get this idea of purify, which sounds a lot like and echoes the word for fire earlier in the line in Handel's Messiah. And the idea is like, look, even in the Old Testament, who can abide the day of God's coming? When God comes to Israel, even the priests won't be pure enough for his coming. And God will have to purify even his priests. And so I love the very next text after that text of purifying the sons of Levi. Guess which next prophecy Handel gives you? It's Isaiah 7:14. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call him Emmanuel, God with us. In other words, the answer to the question of Malachi, who can abide the day of his coming? Who? Well, Isaiah gives the answer, a virgin. A virgin can abide and stand when he appeareth, because the virgin will be so pure and holy, she can stand when he appeareth. So I love that it's the virgin who can stand and be the one who abides the day of the Lord's coming at Christmas. And so that gives us great hope and reflecting on Mary. And then as we read the rest of the prophecy of Malachi 3, we're told that I will send you, as we go further into Malachi here, the prophet Elijah on that day of the Lord. Now that's important because we're going to hear in the gospel today about the birth of John the Baptist. And we're told, remember earlier, by the angel Gabriel speaking to John the Baptist's father, Zechariah, that Zechariah would go forth, or that John the Baptist would go forth in the spirit and power of Elijah. In other words, John the Baptist is the new Elijah promised by Malachi. And so if John is the new Elijah, who is Jesus? He is the Lord whom you seek, who will suddenly come to the temple. And so that's really important fulfillment of prophecy. John the Baptist is the Elijah. Jesus is the Lord. So we have two characters in the Old Testament reading from Malachi, the Lord whom you seek, and Elijah. And then we have John the Baptist, who's the Elijah, and Jesus, who is the Lord. And I love the ending question that we have at the end of the gospel as John the Baptist is born through these miraculous events of Elizabeth in her old age, Zechariah being mute and then able to speak at the birth and naming of his son, who's named John. And the crowd hears these things and they take them to heart. And that's what we're invited to do today, is to ponder these things in our heart. And they say, what then shall this child be? For surely the hand of the Lord was with him. And we too are to say, what does this all mean in our heart, to ponder these words and these prophecies and their fulfillment? May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.